Hello and welcome to another review for Xbox One Reviews. I'm Daniel Waite and this is brought to you in association with Andrew Edney's Movies, Games and Tech.com. Thanks to Andrew for allowing me to make content for his page, and thanks to the publishers and developers for the code. Today's review is Breakneck City, which is available for around £7 on multiple platforms. So, let's wait no longer and see what it's all about. If 90s gaming taught me anything, it's that no problem should stand in your way. This was the decade for some of the greatest beat-em-up titles, therefore, when I'm offered a game that takes inspiration from this era, I jump at the chance. Breakneck City captures the difficulty, vivid art style and wonderful synth music of the 90s, and I know that older gamers will love it. Developed by Renegade Sector Games and Eastasiasoft Limited and published by the latter, this is a low-poly beat-em-up title. You must venture through an array of environments hunting down goons and tackling bosses. It focuses on some well-trodden mechanics, and though it isn't revolutionary, it is fun to play. You may be disappointed that the gameplay lacks originality, but I wasn't. I loved the nod to a much loved genre and the familiar characters you must face. I also enjoyed the ability to play both solo and couch co-op, and this expands its appeal further still. The action spans 6 grimy levels as you face off against many enemies. You will explore city streets, a nightclub, skyscrapers and more. Each location comprises hordes of goons and a boss who must be stopped no matter the cost. You control either Sydney Flintlock or Justine Jacobs, who are slightly peeved about their favourite video store. A vicious gang attempts to burn it down in an act of revenge as its owners refuse to sell up. The crime-fighting duo takes matters into their own hands or taken to the street to crack some heads and restore some order. Unlike many of its peers, Breakneck City demands that you use the surrounding environment to your advantage. It was fantastic to throw your foes off a balcony or to kick them down a flight of steps. Further still, you can swing off poles, break hot pipes and scald them with steam, or ram them over rails. These options added depth to the gameplay as well as a distinct 90s action feel. I adored thinking of new ways to mix up the fighting, and this was helped by the introduction of weapons. Both heroes can shoulder barge, dodge, kick and punch their way out of trouble, yet there is only so far that this will get you. Consequently, when goons run at you with pipes, knives, bats and more, you must work out how to disarm them. Fortunately, a couple of swift blows to the face allows you to steal their weapons and suddenly you become even more badass. Sadly though, this isn't the end of the story as each weapon breaks sooner rather than later. This was annoying as they always broke too soon and this left you wanting more. I enjoyed most things about Breakneck City, however, I was disappointed by some elements within the gameplay. First was the lack of tools at your disposal. There are stools, chairs, boxes and more lying around, yet you can't pick them up. In a situation where you are fighting for your life, I'd grab anything close to hand. However, the two heroes ignore the skull-breaking items and continue to use their fists. Second, the health boost items are sporadically placed and this causes you no end of issues. You can go for ages with no items available and then, like a bus, 3 turn up at once. It was ridiculous and badly thought out. My final issue falls at the feet of the bosses. I have no concerns that the army of goons can be easily swept aside, yet I expect the bosses to put up a bit more of a fight. Annoyingly, this rarely happened and you'd mow through each of them with no challenge. The developers should have made this much harder as it would have added to the longevity and the enjoyment. Many gamers overlooked the Sega Saturn in favour of the PlayStation 1. I understand why, but this fantastic console produced some iconic games with distinctive aesthetics. Luckily, Breakneck City's low poly imagery and pixelated finish are both reminiscent of this wonderful machine. You will explore 3D environments that are unique, vivid and full of surprises. Sadly though, there are a few issues and glitches, however these add to the 90s vibe. Luckily, I didn't experience anything that was game breaking and I enjoyed everything on offer. This is a game about high energy and ass kicking ways, therefore you want a soundtrack that suits the action. Fortunately, the loud and upbeat synth music does just that. Its booming soundtrack demands you keep going while the sound effects make you wince. I love the classic audio that matches the theme and genre. Though much of the action demands manic button bashing, there is some finesse required. As hordes of enemies surround you and tougher goons appear, you must get your timing spot on. Luckily, the responsive controls help, and this element adds some difficulty to an otherwise easy game. Furthermore, it was enjoyable pushing your foes around while experimenting with the scenery. I think the developers did a wonderful job of making this easy to learn, and this allows you to jump straight into the action. Sadly, Breakneck City lacks replay value. Once you complete the 6 levels, there is little reason to return. Luckily though, each stage is relatively long and there is a chance to play couch co-op, so this adds to the longevity. If you are a completionist, you will love the short and easy achievement list. Subsequently, I finished this in under an hour and completed every level in around 2 to 3 hours. Relying on bygone eras isn't always the best inspiration, yet Breakneck City is a wonderful example that must be played. If you love 90s gaming and beat 'em ups, you'll adore what's on offer. Yes, it isn't that challenging, but it's fun, full of energy and looks great. I thoroughly enjoyed kicking ass and I recommend that you buy it. Will you be victorious or will the evil gang get their way? Fight through every level and only stop when you have your revenge. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. I hope you like what you've seen. If you have, give the video a like, comment below and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, keep gaming.